Welcome, DC family. My name is Gregory Henderson. This is the DC District Sports Report coming at you live. Reporting on the last 6 Wizards games today. First game coming against the Orlando Magic. This is a crucial game for the Wizards. We're coming in with a 28-39 record, playing at home. It's a pivotal game because Orlando is ahead of us in the standings. And if we're going to make a playoff run, we really got to get these wins coming into the last 10-12 games of the season. So, it was a close game. The Wizards were up by 8 at halftime, but unfortunately, coming out the third quarter, Orlando went on an 8-0 run to tie the game at 61. Neither team led by more than 6 points heading into the final minutes. But Jabari Parker led the team on an 11-2 run. He scored 6 points straight, put us up by 9, 91-82. And the Wizards never looked back. We pulled out a 100-90 victory. Woo! Big time win at home. Beal led us with 23 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. He only made 1 shot in the fourth quarter though, but it was a big one. It was a 3 that put us up by 10 that really iced the game for us. He was the only starter in double figures, unbelievably. The starters forgot they bring the games against Orlando. They were combined 6 for 30 from the field. Let's break it down real quick. Sato was 1 for 8. Uncle Green was 1 for 5. OG Bobby Portis, 3 for 11. And Trevor Ariza, 1 for 6. So not a good showing from the starters. But bench mob came through. The second unit really stepped up. On offense, they outscored the Magic 59-20. That's right, almost tripled up on them. On defense, we held Orlando to 38% shooting. We held them under 100 points. Guess what our record is when we hold our opponents under 100 points, y'all? 8-0, undefeated. So when we play good defense, good things happen. Thomas Bryant, got to give him a big shout out. It's coming out one of the worst games of the season against Sacramento, against the win against Sac, where he only scored 2 points, had 1 rebound in 14 minutes. He came back and delivered one of his best performances of the season. 21 points, 10 rebounds, okay? Parker continued his impressive play. Jabari poured in 19 points, 9 rebounds off the bench. That's big bench play in any game. That's going to be a huge contributor and a huge aspect to a win. Vucevic led Orlando with 20 and 14. DJ Augustine, who's always been a thorn in the Wizards side, has 16 and 7. Aaron Gordon, who played despite a sore rib, really looked like he was playing with an injury out there, had a rough night, only scored 13 points on 4 of 13 shooting. So next game is another big one against the Charlotte Hornets. Wizards coming in again at the number 11 spot. Charlotte sitting at number 10. So this is a team that we need to leapfrog if we're going to climb back up into this playoff race. So it's Friday night. Wizards coming in with a record of now 29-39. Charlotte only 2 games ahead of us at 31-37. It's another home game. We're going for our 30th win of the year. Biggest game of the year, in my opinion, family. It's a must-win to stay in the playoff contention. We must beat Charlotte. So let's go. Charlotte has been a stinger in our neck all year long. We just cannot seem to solve this team. Here's our chance tonight. Wizards got down early. Defensive lack of efficiency. Allowed 40 points in the first quarter, y'all, and we never fully recovered. We tried to make a run in the fourth quarter behind a huge game from Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal scored 40 points. It's the second time this year he scored 40 on the Charlotte Hornets, so they will remember this man. All right, this is Beal's 11th time scoring 40 in his career. 11th time. This ties him with my man Earl Hayes behind me for 4th best in Wizards Bullets history. So big milestone for you, Big Brad. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the win, and it was the Charlotte reserves that keyed the victory for the Hornets, 116-110. Collectively, they scored 57 points to bench. They shot 53% from the field, shot 50% from three-point range. Jeremy Lamb poured in 18, Bacon had 13, Frank the Tank poured in 8, and Tony Parker turned in a vintage performance with 16 points. Jeff Green led the Hornets with 28, and like I said, they beat us by 6. We took the L. For the Wizards, Jeff Green poured in 20 points, and he was asked after the game, why don't we match up well against the Hornets? And he simply responded, we shoot ourselves in the foot. And I agree with him 100%. It's not that we don't match up well against the Hornets. We just, at the end of the games, don't play defense or don't get a big rebound or commit a costly turnover. Those will shoot yourselves anytime, anywhere. And we let this one slip through our fingers. And we gave up a dynamic offensive performance by Bradley Beal. So it's a sad one to let go. Like I said, I think this was a must-win game. I think our playoff hopes are pretty much lost after this loss. Next game, though, against the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday. So it's a back-to-back, a chance to kind of get this loss off our backs, get that taste out of our mouth, and get us a victory. Another home game. Now, this one was a tight one, y'all. A tight one all the way throughout. 99 problems, but offense wasn't a problem in this one, y'all. Both teams shot above 50% for the game. The Wizards scored 30 points in all 4 quarters. So we were just balling on all cylinders in every quarter. Bradley Beal, y'all, I can't say it enough. This guy's becoming a bona fide star in this league. He records his 2nd straight 40-point game on a back-to-back with no rest. The man hit a career-high 9 threes. That's right, a career-high. And not 9 of 20, a spectacular 9 of 12 for 75% from long range. Excellent, spectacular game. And as a team, we were pretty much hot from 3 as a team. We made 17 threes out of 35 attempts for 49%. Excellent, excellent percentage. And we out-rebounded the Grizzlies 45-40. And you know when we out-rebound, typically we come away with the victory. With some clutch shooting, we pulled away in the 4th quarter, won by 7, 135-128 in a big high-scoring affair. Nice to knock off the Grizzlies at home. Jabari Parker had another strong performance off the bench, 20 points, 11 rebounds. Mike Conley led the Grizzlies with 28 and 12, but not nearly enough as we earned, finally, our 30th victory of the year. Next game, Monday, March 18th, against the mighty Utah Jazz. I say mighty because they're coming in with a strong record of 42 and 30. Despite sitting number 8th in the West, they've pretty much secured that 8th spot. They will be in the playoffs, facing either the Golden State Warriors or the Denver Nuggets first round. Finally getting our 30th win, trying to get our 31st. But this is one of those games we were dominated from start to finish, y'all. I mean, they were absolutely able to shut down our star Bradley Beal. They double-teamed him. They forced him off the 3-point line. He was only able to score 15 points on 4 of 12 shooting, not one of his best games. And they held us under 100 points. So we were completely outplayed in pretty much all aspects and facets of the game. They shot 54%. We shot 42 from 3-point range. They shot 38%. We shot a measly 30. Assists, we only had 20 assists in this game, y'all. They had 35. As far as rebounds go, they out-rebounded us 41-34. As far as blocks goes, you know they got Rudy Gobert. They out-blocked us 8-2. The only categories that we were better than Utah this game were free throw percentage. Utah shot a measly 67% from the line. We were in the 80s. And turnovers. I think we had 16 turnovers. I think they maybe had 17. So only slight difference there. Rudy Gobert had 14 points, 14 rebounds, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. He's pretty much dominated inside. Donovan Mitchell led Utah with 19 points. Crowder had 18, and sharpshooter Ingles pitched in with 16 points. This is one of those games you just want to forget about, y'all. Just throw away the game tape. Move on to the next. Not much you can learn from this one. Just got outclassed and outplayed by a better team. All right, next game, Wednesday. Hump day against the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. We're coming in with a record of 30 and 42. Chicago is limping in with a record of 21 and 52. Now, they're further limping in because they're missing 2 key pieces, 2 starters. Zach LaVine is out with a thigh contusion. Otto Porter was out because of a rotator cuff strain. We battled, though, this shorthanded squad to a 60-60 tie at the end of the first half. We were down by 2, close to the end of regulation. It wasn't looking good. But Bradley Beal hit a clutch baseline jumper to tie the game with 2.4 seconds left, and ultimately we were able to force overtime. But unfortunately, We got outplayed in OT. We got off to a bad start. We allowed Chicago to score the first 5 points, so we got down by 5 early. And they really never gave up that lead. We just couldn't make shots, couldn't get stops, and turnovers, they just killed us. Who else killed us? Lauri Markkanen. He had a huge 3 from the top of the key to kind of ice the game and key the victory for the shorthanded Bulls. We did lose Ariza in the middle of the game, but it was still no excuse to lose this game to such a subpar opponent. You know, if we had any hopes of making a run, they were lost tonight in this defeat. Markinson was unstoppable. He had 32 points, 13 rebounds. Chris Dunn chipped in with 26 and 13 assists, really killed us from the guard position. Parker, playing against his former team, Jabari had another good game, 28 points, 6 rebounds. He was tough to stop. Beal poured in a bounce-back game from him. Didn't expect him to have 2 games in a row bad. 27 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. OG Bobby Portis also played a decent game against his former team with 15 and 5. Got a shout out to my man Troy Brown this game. Had his first double-digit rebounding game of his career with 10 rebounds off the bench. Big ups, big way to contribute. I see you, big boy. All right, next game, Thursday, March 21st, against the mighty, dominant Denver Nuggets. That's right, the Denver Nuggets are coming in with the second best record in the league, sitting only behind the Golden State Warriors for the #1 record in the West. This is the second game of a back-to-back. Playing at home, though. You know we're facing a tough team, a team that wants to get home court advantage over the Golden State Warriors, so they're playing to win. They got a big man MVP candidate, in my opinion, and Jokic. So let's see how we do. Ariza's out today, so Troy Brown gets his first NBA start. Let's go, Troy. Despite our terrible season, we do have a respectable record at home. We're 22 and 15. So we're going to need every advantage that we can get in this game to beat this tough team. Wizards, the Nuggets got off to a pretty good start. Got out to an 8-point halftime lead. But the Wizards fought back big time in the third quarter and actually took the lead by 1 or 2 points there in the fourth quarter. But it just wasn't enough. Man, Denver is just so good, and we're just too good tonight. We fell in a very close contest, well-contested game, 113 to 108. It was a typical fast-paced West Coast contest with both teams shooting over 50% from the field. The difference in this game was that the three-point line. Okay, Denver shot 46% from the free throw line, while the Wizards shot 28%. It's a miss-or-make league, and this was one of those games where we missed a little bit more than we made. Beal led us with 25 points and 8 assists. Bobby Portis had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and my man Sato had a double-double with 16 points and 6 assists. But 15 was the magic number for the Denver Nuggets tonight. About 5 players scored 15 points. Joker had 15 points, Millsap, Murray, Harris, and Craig. So that's what I call a really balanced contribution. So they kind of put it on us. Hey, rookie Troy Brown in his first career start, how'd he do? 13 points, 5 rebounds. Hey, very decent first start. Very decent contribution, my man, Mr. Troy Brown Jr. Looking forward to bigger things from you, man. But good start. Good start. That should help you build some confidence, bro. After the game, Beal was interviewed and was asked about the loss. And he had to admit that he wasn't too mad. He was pretty proud of the way his team performed. Walla, I know you're not here, but how do you feel about these moral victories, man? I'm not for it. We got 10 games left. You know, if you're not trying to win and you're not trying to tank, what the heck are you doing? All right, people. The Wizards are 30 and 43. 30 and 43. We're 6 games behind the 8th spot. Doesn't look like we're going to make the playoffs with only 10 games left. It's time to be realistic and concede the season, concede the playoffs. Now that we have less than a 5% chance, statistically, to make the playoffs, and I'm wondering, is it time to sit Bradley Beal? So for those who know, Bradley Beal's had an excellent week. He was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Since the All-Star break, he's averaging over 29 points a game, and he's looking like a serious candidate for a spot in the All-NBA team this year for the first time. He's averaging 25 and 5, which are All-NBA superstar numbers. And it's well documented that Beal is leading the NBA in minutes played at over 37 minutes a game. Also leading the league in mileage, which means distance ran in a ball game. He's averaging 2.8 miles a game. All right, so he's the most conditioned athlete in the league at this point. I say this concern because Beal early in his career dealt with stress fractures. To the point where he even said that he didn't think he was ever going to be able to play without a minute restriction. So now, 6 years into his career, why do we want to risk him having any type of stress on his faculties ever again? Why would we want to risk injury with this man ever again? So with 10 games left, being pretty much statistically out of the playoff race, I suggest that we sit Bradley Beal, let the young boys get most of the minutes. Let's really see what they can offer us for next year, and let this man rest. It's no reason, no sense in the world to risk a serious injury with this guy, knowing his history early in his career with stress fractures. Why do we want to put undue minutes onto his body that he doesn't need? Look, all NBA players, they have an expiration date, right? So why do we want to push those minutes here when we can save those minutes for next year when they might be more meaningful and when we actually have a chance to go for something? That's just my take. Now, next Wizards game is versus the Miami Heat on Saturday. Dwayne Wade's last game in D.C. Les Lynn flashed home with a big L. All right, let's do the top floor breakdown. Can't do it well without my man Uptown Waller, but I'll try my best. Washington Capitals. After beating the New Jersey Devils 4-1, we took a loss 5-4 in overtime against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Worse than the loss, though, we lost a pivotal player. Michael Kempery suffered a lower body injury during the second period and looks to be out indefinitely. I'm praying that he makes it back before the playoffs, because if you watched the playoffs last year, you know that he was a key cog on our defensive unit that helped us win the cup. Don't think we would have won it without him, and really it would be tough for us to win it without him this year. So Kempery, rest up, heal up. Hopefully the hockey gods get you back on the ice before the playoffs. Lord knows we need you. Georgetown Hoyas. Season is over. We took an L in the NIT. We just missed the NCAA tournament despite having a 500 record in the Big East. We caught a bid to the NIT to face the Harvard, Crimson Harvard, and it was a tough game. We just really couldn't get off the snide. Just had a terrible shooting night. We had one of those games where we had a scoring lapse of about 8 minutes. It was brutal to watch. 8 minutes, no points. We ended up falling. What was the score? 71-68. 71-68. Go on, I gotta give you some props for your last game as a Hoya. You scored 25 points. Nice way to go out. But looking back, this was not a great season for you, Coach Pat Ewing. The Hoyas they would win one game and then lose another game. They would, have a big win against a big team, ranked team, and then lose against a total unranked team. You have a freshman that have a big game, and then you'd have a veteran that looks like he regressed. Just no consistency this year. Tough season for Georgetown. Hey, they got some big recruits coming in next year. You got a big center coming in from Flint Hill, my man Q, who averaged 19 and 12 in the MEAC this year. So some help is on the way, and our freshmen are going to get better as sophomores. So I'm looking for a better, bigger season from Georgetown next year. Maryland Terps, who earned a 6th seed in the tournament this year. Really proud of that. I know they were excited. First game was against Belmont. Belmont coming in highly touted, y'all. A lot of people picked them to make the Sweet 16. Definitely picked them to beat Maryland. We were a 3-point favorite, but knew this was going to be a tough one. Hey, did not look good early. We were down double digits early in the first half. Clawed back to make it a 6-point deficit by halftime. But man, our Twin Towers came through. Jason Smith, who's been a little bit inconsistent this year. He showed flashes of brilliance, but some games, 7 points. Some games it gives you 19, 20. This game, he brought it. 19 points, 12 rebounds, thunderous dunks, big rebounds. Definitely controlled the paint, galvanized the middle. And together with my man Bruno Fernando, who poured in 14 and 13, Twin Towers basically keyed us to victory, spirited the comeback. Maryland caught a big W. got the W, 2-point win, 77-79 to beat Belmont to move on to the land of 32 to the second round of the tournament to face LSU for a chance at the Big Sweet 16. I can't even talk. Sweet 16. Let's go, Maryland. All right, last but not least, my Capital City Go-Go. We've been struggling lately with 3-7 in the last 10 games. We now have a losing record, 24-25 right now, sitting at 7th in the Eastern Conference. On Wednesday, we faced the Santa Cruz Warriors, who are a really good team. They're 32-16. We fought a valiant effort. We lost a close one, 116-120. G League scorer Jordan McRae gave him 32 points as usual. He averages 30 points a game. We also got 20 points and 13 rebounds from our center, Tyler London. Next game is tomorrow against the Stockton Kings, who are 30-19, another good team. Hey, let's get this win, go, and get back to 500. Hey, thanks for tuning in, y'all. I just want to say a huge thanks to everybody that's tuned in. We have finally reached 100 subscribers. We can't do it without y'all. We just cannot be grateful enough for your support. We're going to keep doing it for y'all. It's for the city. It's for the love. DC or nothing. We love y'all. Peace out. District Sports Report. See you in a couple days.